I'm Airman First Class Victoria Hadden, aerial combat broadcast journalist stationed at 1st Combat Camera, Joint Base Charleston. So the day-to-day job for an aerial combat broadcast journalist is trying to get on flights and taking your video camera and just showing the start to finish of what the mission of the day was on the airplane. And then ideally you can try to get the imagery to them as fast as possible. For photos you can do it same day, but video usually takes a day or two. So as an aerial combat broadcast journalist, we take our cameras out and we try to tell the mission of other people. We record them, we can do like documentation, or we can make stories out of what they do. We can do like fancy production pieces if they request. But it's a lot of editing on your laptop, it's a lot of camera work, moving your shots around, photography is a part of it as well, learning graphics, learning animation, all that kind of stuff, and then trying to make really cool video products that people will want to watch. I thought, when I joined the Air Force, I thought that the broadcast journalist or like a photojournalist job would be the #1 way that I could express my artistic capabilities, like the only job in the entire Air Force where I could be creative whatsoever. So that's why I tried to get into broadcast journalism. Yeah, I think I'm able to express my creativity by being a broadcast journalist because you can come up with graphic design posters. I get to make animations like logos for stuff. I can draw things. Storyboarding is artistic as well, and that kind of like what you do is you make your shots and then you draw them and then you try and go capture those in real life. So using the visual skills that I have as an artist makes compiling my shots and like videos easier. I got into art when I was in middle school because you're supposed to get a hobby, and I drew a lot as a kid, so I joined an art club, and then ever since then I've gone from just drawing with like crayons and markers and crap, and then into oil paintings, water painting, watercolor painting, sculpture, pretty much everything you can think of, except for like video and photography. And then so when I joined the Air Force, it was really convenient because that was like the only art field I haven't done. And so now I'm into photography too. Drawing and illustration and that kind of stuff that I like to do. Composition is really important, and so when I remember to incorporate that into my shots, when I'm doing video or photography, it really helps a lot. Rule of thirds and just trying to make an interesting shot that people want to look at, not just something, like, oh, I'm standing here with my camera, click, but, I'm really thinking about it and trying to get something that's meaningful. I think coming into the Air Force with the artistic background that I have and more of a creative style mindset allows me to be a better broadcast journalist because I can create some really visually interesting pieces. I usually look at the world kind of differently from the average person, and I'll find things that they wouldn't necessarily record, and they actually end up being really cool in a video. So the average person probably wouldn't think to record that, and so I think that makes my products that just a little bit better. Also, I'm more familiar with doing graphics and animations and stuff like that because I studied in college, so that makes me kind of an expert on that. So the day-to-day life of being in the military can be pretty stressful. There's a lot of different things coming at you all the time, and it's very easy for me personally to get like focused, like laser focused on something, and then like I can't do anything else and I just get really overwhelmed. And so when I remember about my art practices, it really helps me to just kind of like let go and come back to like my center, if so to say, and really just collect myself as a person, and not to be so like haywire, you know. It's a really good de-stressor at the end of the day for me. I would say for anybody who's really interested in art and is thinking about joining the Air Force as a career, that broadcast journalism or photojournalist or whatever our new AFSC is going to be would probably be your best option because it does allow you to be more creative. It has that graphic design element that you can really explore that not a lot of people are super into. And also making videos and photography is the most artistic I think you can be in any AFSC in the Air Force. So I would really recommend them checking this one out. So the Air Force has really interesting opportunities that you kind of just make for yourself. So one of the things that I've really enjoyed doing is painting murals in all of the different places that I've been. And all it takes is asking somebody, because everybody loves good art on the wall and it doesn't cost them any money. So it's pretty easy to get that approved, and it's really fun to go around and kind of just brighten up a space that is, you know, military is usually viewed one very specific way, but being able to add like really bright, colorful murals into different places really brings me a lot of joy, and it brought a lot of other people joy that were around all the time. So I think that you have the capability of creating your own path and the capability of improving the lives of others in whatever way you want, being creative, painting or drawing tattoos for people because everybody loves tattoos, or making cool videos that people just want to share on their Instagrams and feel really cool about themselves, and cool guy photos, stuff like that. So I think that video work is probably one of the best bets you have of being really creative in the Air Force. Yeah, so in tech school, I was actually a month and a half early for my class from when I graduated basic training to when my tech school start date was. So I was actually stuck at the detachment for many days, not really doing anything. So I asked the commander there if I could redo some of their ugly murals or like paint new ones. And she saw some of my artwork and she was like all for it. So she took me out shopping to Michael's, which was really cool because it was still in that phase of training when you have to wear your uniform all the time and you can't leave base. So I got to go to Michael's and it was like the best trip ever. But I got to paint whatever I wanted inside of the tech school detachment that every person who trains to be in our career field goes through. So every person who's new to the Air Force since I've gone to our career field has seen my artwork, and I think that's pretty cool. My very first TDY, I went to make a TACP video. So we went to go shoot the Lightning Challenge of 2019, and they wanted me to make a really cool production video out of it. And so I thought that was a really awesome experience because I'm kind of a perfectionist in my artwork, and so having an unlimited time frame to make this video, I was able to be like a super perfectionist, and got to incorporate all kinds of graphics and like video editing skills and music blending and audio blending and all that stuff. I got to just really dig in deep and get really detailed with it like I do with my paintings, and I ended up making a really awesome product that everybody seems to like a lot, so that was really awesome.